take a concept, go in, research, hone in, and break that spell and realize your emptiness with that. Because if you believe in the moon landing, for example, that deception is holding you. That deception has you. It has your mind. You bought into it. You are its customer. But once you unveil the moon landing and realize that it is fake, you achieve your emptiness with that, because you get rid of it and you awaken and you realize, oh, so it's not real. So what happens when you realize it's not real? You automatically achieve emptiness with that, in that particular topic, because you let it go and it's gone. Like it never existed, it never happened, it's gone. So you realize. So as soon as you realize something, you achieve your emptiness, you achieve your zero. Before you were like holding on to this moon landing, now you got rid of it, now it doesn't exist, it's like zero. You have to do that. So at the end of your journey, when you're in the Great Tribulation, you will finish at zero, because you realize everything is a theater, everything is fake, everything is a lie, including your name, your date of birth, where you're born. Everything is meticulously engineered and planned. Even sometimes like your personality is like engineered. It's like they engineer your personality of how you're going to be. Like say for example, if you're going to be a shy person, they will actually program you from a young age with a trauma-based mind control to make you shy. If you are an aggressive person, they will actually give you that kind of family environment, and they will turn you into an aggressive person, because it's like, oh, my mom is always angry at me, or my dad was never supporting me. So they will engineer that environment and turn you into an aggressive person, or turn you into a submissive person, or turn you into like a very sexual person, like you always want to have sex, or like this whore character, whether you're a man or a woman. They can turn you into that. So they can engineer that, so they can create whatever personality they want. But the person itself, in their own heart and mind, they are not doing it. Someone else is influencing them. And the engineering, the mind control around them makes that person feel like it's real. It's like it's really happening, but it's actually just a black magic, mind control. It's black magic and mind control. So you have to let go of everything and find your own true nature, find your own identity, find your own Buddha nature, and drop all the veils and realize everything, my mom, my dad, my relatives, my children, my pets, the area that I live, the things that I went through in life, my work, my bosses, my colleagues, everyone has been meticulously engineered around me. So you have to understand it that way. Your friendship, your group, your circle, what you drink, what's your favorite shop, what your favorite food is. So they can use all of anything in the material world, they can use to engineer you. They can use to create a certain human personality, but that personality is not authentic to you. It has been engineered. And you can, it's very obvious if you look at like advertising, how it engineers us to go out and consume. That's an example. They can also individually engineer you, not just with the collective, with advertising, movies, terrorism, war events. These things like traumatize you and engineers you, but also realizing personally, like nuances in your personality of what emotion, what fear you have, what you believe about this world is true, what you think a family is, what your sexuality is, what your body is. All of those things they can engineer. So when you get to that level, when you get to the deepest, the ultimate nuances of unveiling this reality and realizing there is a telepathic system in the background, and that telepathic system in the background is basically streaming into your world. So you think your world is coming from here, you think your world is coming from your mind, but it's not. It's coming from a different force from the back, which is the firmament guys that have a lot of technology. They are demonic, they have demonic telepathy, and they can do crazy things. So all your life you believed your life is streaming from here, but your life is streaming from the back. So you have to see that. So when you do that, when you get to that, you naturally become empty. You realize, oh wow, all of this is like fake. All of this is like nothing. The demon put all these things in my bedroom. You realize everything is fake, because then you realize your own Buddha nature, because you're like, oh, that's where it's coming from. I thought it was coming from here, and I thought it was coming from here, but actually it's coming from here. It's coming from this background place. It's coming from the shadow world, and it has nothing to do with me. So once you turn around and you see the deception, you see Satan, you see the Satan's clan, you see the firmament guys, you see the demonic forces, you see the silent technology and telepathy that is behind you. When you see that, then you become empty, because you realize everything is coming from there, it's not coming from here. So what this becomes empty naturally. So you just realize the whole veil drops, everything drops, nothing is real. So that's how I realized emptiness, and that's how my emptiness journey was done, through unveiling the telepathic layer and going through the disclosure and understanding some technical things in Buddhism of what it is, that it's not like it's actually a thing. Because when all these veil drops, it's like, oh my god, nothing's real, so what's real? And you are a little bit confused. And then the Buddhism will be like, oh, this is what you've been through, this is what you're going through emptiness, you're going through the perfection of wisdom, you're doing your 6 paramitas, and the Buddhism scriptures is right there, and it'll be like showing it to you. So you are not disanchored. You're like, what? Everything is empty? Like nothing is real? Everything is a script? Everything is fake? So what's the point of my life, right? But then the Buddhist scriptures will be shown to you. It's like, this is what it means. This is what you did. This is the path you walked through. So that's how it works. In the ancient times, we did not have to deal with the technology system, the banking system, the poisoning of the elements, the extreme telepathy that we are a part of, the mind control, Hollywood, Bollywood, all of those did not exist. So people didn't have to deal with that 500 years ago, 300 years ago. They didn't have this level of intense presence of the demonic forces in our world. That didn't exist. The demonic forces existed, but they exist in a different way. But in our world, they exist in reality. So they exist in front of us. So they're showing us their technology, they're showing us their boobs, they're showing us their penis, they're showing us their rockets, they're showing us their dancing, their music, their singing, their movies, their pornography, their sex, the Victoria's Secret models that are males walking naked on the stage. So the demons are showing themselves. So they have surfaced, and it says in the Hebrew scriptures, the demons will walk the earth. And that's what it means. It's literal again, because the demons literally walk the earth. And when you see people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, all of your celebrities, Hillary Clinton, Paris Hilton, when you see all of those, they're all demons. They're all clones, they're demons. So that's what it means. The demons will walk the earth, because they're all based on status, they're all based on materialism, they're all based on showing off. Like, look at my car, look at my house, look at my nails, look at my body, look at my abs, look at my arms, look at my teeth, look at my tongue, look at my hair. Everything, they're just showing you. And that's a demonic trait. Humans don't do that. We don't have the need to do that. Like, we like privacy, we like our own space. We don't want to always be out there showing, like, look at my vase, and look at my light, and look at my pillowcase, and look at my spray, and look at my pencil, and look at my earpods. Like, you have to show everything. So that's basically demons. Demons do that kind of stuff. They want to show everything. They want to demonstrate everything. They want to show their abs, their new lip injections, their new wig, their new abs that they got from the clinic. They want to show that. They want to show their boobs. They want to show their bum. So that's all demon based. So it's all demonic. It's all satanic. It's not part of the human system. These things you have to unveil slowly and understand, and get to your own realization of emptiness. So you will see emptiness in your everyday life. So you will basically see the show. you'll basically see it. Like previously, you did not see the man behind, you did not see the puppeteer, you did not see who was running the show, but when you realize emptiness, you will see who's running the show. You will see everything is coming from the back. Everything is a hologram projection, you can say, and it's not even anything that you did. Nothing came from your head. So in that, you naturally realize your emptiness. You become empty. It's like, oh my God, I didn't do anything. So that's how you realize emptiness. So you finish at zero when you unveil the reality that way. So when in Dzogchen, they have this, in Dzogchen, they have this symbol that is a circle with a dot. In the middle, the dot is usually represented by the English letter A, but I don't know the letters for others. It's represented by the letter A, which is considered the sound. The Prajnaparamita is letter A, which is the dot in the middle. So it finishes with a zero. So like, that's how I perceive, that's how I perceive emptiness when they say Dzogchen, the great perfection with a huge circle and a dot in the middle. When they say that, for me, it's the zero. It's the sunyata. It's like the circle is the massive zero and the circle, which is sunyata. And every culture in this world writes zero with the circle. And it's like common ground for everyone. And so that's like such a unifying factor. If you go to the true essence of what it means to be a human, we speak so many different languages, we have so many different cultures, and we have, every culture has their own writing system, but somehow the zero is like the same for every culture. Most cultures, I think like 99% of the culture write zero with a circle. They write zero like this. So it makes me feel like in that zero, we can all find common ground. So it doesn't matter how many languages we speak and how many different ways that we have different ways to write in different languages. The zero is like the unifying factor, and it's like we all have to realize shunyata, we all have to realize zero, we all have to realize sunya becomes a common ground, a common factor, because even the symbol itself, everyone writes it that way. And you might write 1, 2, 3, 4 differently, but the zero, you write it exactly the same way with the circle. And the Dzogchen is the same thing, it's a circle. So when you realize sunyata, for me, sunyata zero and the Dzogchen circle is the same thing. And it makes total sense because it's a great completion or the great perfection. Because you realized, you unveiled the totality of this reality, and you unveiled everything, and you realize zero. So what does that represent? And Dzogchen captures that perfectly and tells you it's the great perfection, and it literally gives you a giant zero. And then you pull everything into the center, which is the dot in the middle. So you pull everything into the center, and that center is your essence. It's like who you are. Like for example, if I put a dot in the middle, that to me is your true essence. It's like what you have to be. Like for example, if you look at Jesus's life, the dot in the middle is that he is the savior, and that's like what he's known for. So that's your essence. And like if I look at my journey and my spiritual path, my essence, the dot in the middle, is I'm going to do the rapture. So the rapture is going to happen through the Prajnaparamita Nepalese lineage. And that is like the Prajnaparamita symbol. That's the Prajnaparamita. That A in the middle is the Prajnaparamita. So you have to get to that. So you have to get to your own sunyata. So you have to get to your own essence. You have to get to that center point. And through that, you are like, you have collapsed this entire reality. You have like unveiled the whole thing, and you have got to the center. Like, you know, when you hit the target in the dart, when there's like lots of levels and the center is where you want to aim, and everyone aims at the center. So that's what you want to do. And your emptiness is that. It's like the center. It's the perfect point. So that's why it's called the great perfection and the great completion. The great perfection is like the center, and the great completion is like the circle. So when you realize emptiness, you get to that. So everything is literal. So when they do that symbol in Dzogchen, when they have that symbol in Dzogchen, it's literal as well, because it's like the literal zero. And it's like you have completed and understood sunyata. You have understood emptiness. You have understood prajnaparamita. Emptiness will always show you. Emptiness will always show you that it is empty. So in your life, when you do different things, like say in your life, you are born, and then a demon wants you to become a doctor, and then you become this great doctor, and then you earn a lot of money, and then all of a sudden you're very unhappy with your life. It's because sunyata is telling you that's incorrect. That's the wrong path. You earn all this money and you have all this status, and you start taking drugs and develop a sexual disease. That sunyata is telling you you're in the wrong track. So you have to realize sunyata, you have to realize emptiness, you have to realize the prajnaparamita, because it will always chase you. It will always show you that you are in the wrong path, you're in the wrong direction. So it wants you to know that everything is empty, everything is sunyata, everything is zero. And if you are not doing it the right way, the demon will inflict you, Satan will hurt you, or the elites will fool you. You will keep on going out there and working really hard to buy plastic, nothing, to buy emptiness, nothing. And that's the counterfeit emptiness that you're buying. You're buying nothing. You're wasting your time getting an education, buying a house, and doing all this to go to hell. Counterfeit emptiness. It's nothing. It's counterfeit. It doesn't do anything for you. So emptiness will always chase you, and it will teach you. And in the Vajrayana path, you won't be allowed to escape. So far in our life, we could get away with a lot of things. We could get away with partying and not knowing, being ignorant, messing around, being stupid, foolish, drinking, being like playing video games and doing all that, reading useless books and thinking like you are great. We could get away with that deluded life that we are in, that ignorant illusion that we are in. We could get away with that, but in the tribulation, you can't get away with that. You will be like, work. It'll be like no emptiness, understand emptiness, because you know what's going to happen. If you do not understand emptiness, it's the end times. Where are you going to go? You either go to heaven or you go to hell. There are two paths. You either go to heaven or you go to hell. Two directions, two paths, two outcomes. Satan or God, two outcomes. So it's like you don't have all of these other options, like I'm going to deceive myself with fake yoga, and I'm going to deceive myself with this fake meditation. I'm going to deceive myself with like higher education. I'm going to deceive myself with getting a family and having children, and distract myself with my household lifestyle. So you can't get away with that. All of those will be blocked for you. All of those will be like, it's finished. It's like family life is finished. Environmental campaign is over. Transgenderism is over, feminism is over, gayism is over, your activism is over, everything is finished. And now you have to look at your life, and there is no escape. So it will be like learn, understand, or go to hell. That's it. And that's why the Vajrayana path will basically corner you. It will trap you and it will corner you. And you can look at that spiritually, because like if I look at Christ's life and helped me understand a lot of the Buddhist principle. And if you really look at Jesus Christ, his life, you will see how he was cornered at the end. He had to basically give his body, and he was crucified. There was no other way. He had to go through the process. He had to go through what the demons were going to put him through. You have to go through the process. You have to go through the darkest of the darkest. You have to go through death itself, and then come out the other end resurrected. So that I look at as like cornering. So right now, how I'm experiencing my cornering is that the demons are everywhere. Telepathically, they're everywhere. So there's no like, even if I want to run, there's no such thing. Like you cannot run because there's no such thing to run. Where are you going to go? And they are everywhere. So they're telepathically everywhere. They're in your breath, they're in your eyes, they're in your speech, they're in your body, they're everywhere. So there is like, that's my form of cornering. It's like when you realize like, oh wow, they're everywhere. And that's your cornering. So that's how I'm going through my cornering. So humanity will go through their cornering.